I wish to recognize the presence of the PF Whip, Chief Whip, and also the Deputy Whip, and all honorable members of Parliament present. Countrymen and women, we are here today, this afternoon, as members of Parliament from the Patriotic Front Party, protesting against the manner in which members of Parliament are being treated by the police. The matter was raised on the floor, and Madam Speaker gave an opportunity to the Minister of Home Affairs to clarify on the manner in which members of Parliament are being arrested, harassed, abducted, name it. We have seen a trend by the police in the recent past to abduct members of Parliament, incarcerate them, detain them in police cells, deny to give them bond, even when they can be given bond as promised by President Hichilema. These members of Parliament, countrymen and women, are elected officials. They are representatives of the people. They are lawmakers. And to confer that status on them, some of the privileges that they enjoy are things like diplomatic passports. Not necessarily that those passports are supposed to be utilized locally, as alleged by the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, but it confirms that the government system recognizes the importance of these honorable members. These honorable members are highly respected whenever they travel out of the country, because of the role that they play in the governance system. But locally, they're being treated like criminals. I want to make one point very clear. We are not here to proclaim or claim that members of Parliament are immune from arrests. That is not our position. Our position is that they still remain amenable to the law, but the manner of arrest must be orderly, must be in such a way that they are arresting somebody who is respected by society. What is wrong with giving a member a call out, or indeed bringing a call out to Parliament so that the member can present himself or herself before the police? We have said this time and again that this country is slowly sliding into a police state, where the police are the law unto themselves. The police are given instructions straight from State House on how to harass these honorable members of Parliament. And we know the scheme. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see what is going on. The President of this Republic, President Hichilema, intends to instill fear in these members of Parliament, because attempts have been made to try and get them on the UPND side. These honorable members that you are seeing here, countrymen and women, are honorable members. These are citizens that have stood by you, the voters, and the vote to continue providing checks and balances in this country. So when they've been unable to attract the attention of these honorable members, they've resorted to intimidation and persecution. So today's protest, the walking out of Parliament, was to send a message, firstly to the Minister of Home Affairs, that we will not stand idle and allow our members to be harassed in the manner that the police have continued to do. This is also a warning to the Inspector General of Police. Act within the law, act with respect. The people that you are seeing here are members of Parliament, elected members of Parliament. Each one of these have got over 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people that voted for them. They therefore cannot be treated in the manner that you, Inspector General of Police, have continued to act. There were recent reports that police intend to train some of their staff. Our recommendation as members of Parliament is that we start with the top command, because so far the police have been very disappointing in the manner that they've handled the police matters. We want to appeal to you, Inspector General of Police. Ensure that your top command are fully trained to even understand the ways in which members of parliament or elected members of parliament should be treated. We're not asking for anything out of this world. Nothing unusual. It's the respect of members of parliament. These are lawmakers. So, ladies and gentlemen, we thought this was very, very important because just a few days ago, we had Honorable Robert Kalimi. He arrested and detained, was it for two nights? The other one was Honorable Christopher Shaka Fuswa, who was abducted from a shopping mall whilst he was, with his family. Something that we want to condemn in the strongest terms. We don't expect members of parliament to be treated like common criminals. We will not accept that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thought this was very, very important to inform the nation that we wish to protest, and we're happy that Madam Speaker has reserved the ruling on that particular matter. We hope that that ruling will be rendered soon so that the police are directed. The police are instructed. Members of parliament are lawmakers. We indeed have other options. We have options like motions, which want to bring on the floor of the House until we get that respect that these members of parliament deserve. Without much ado, I would now like to invite Honorable Robert Kalimi just to add a few words to
Thank you very much, Leader of the Opposition, the Chief Whip, members of Parliament, the Media House. To me, I'm just getting very, very much worried, members of Parliament. Because as far as I'm concerned, there is separation of power. That is executive, Parliament, and the judiciary. The power of the Speaker is slowly fading out from our hands. It is now getting into the executive. May I remind the nation to say, if anything happened to the president today, or maybe there was some rerun of election, the Speaker is supposed to act as a president. To me, the Speaker is number 2 in this country. And if a member of parliament can be arrested without even the consent of the Speaker, then I wonder where we are going. I can give an example. Can a cabinet minister be arrested without the consent of the president? The answer is no. The president is supposed to be aware. We are not asking for any favor that we are above the law. We can't be arrested. No, we can be arrested. I can just give myself as an example, whereby I never even resisted. I was called for something. I was treated like a criminal. I was denied a bond for just fake news. The whole country. I have 700 people in Mungu district. That is the population plus who are looking for me. 700,000. 700,000. Hey, almost a million people are looking forward for me. I had 76,000 registered voters who are in my local constituency. And everyone is complaining that this man is a thief, a member of parliament. To me, this is unacceptable. And to me, let the Speaker take responsibility. Because I'm told even the previous Speaker, they can't arrest a member of parliament without the consent of Honorable Speaker. To me, the ruling which the Speaker made now, maybe she would have made it, she would have reserved that before even Jackie Mwimba stood. And let me remind Honorable Jackie Mwimba, he's not the first Minister of Home Affairs. And he's not the last Minister of Home Affairs. This is excitement, as if he's jumping on a kangaroo or each pululu, to just be excited and not even answering properly. His days are numbered. He's not the first minister. We are the ministers, powerful ministers in that office. So he should not. In fact, when the leader of opposition said members of parliament, he never meant PF. Even he said, even UPND, if they want to arrest UPND members of parliament, they should be respected. We are talking about members of parliament, not PF, for God's sake. Are UPNs not members of parliament? Yeah. They are. But when we say members of parliament, they think that we are talking about PF. Are the PF the only people they are accused of doing these things? What will happen if the same Jackie Mungu is arrested at one time? He can be fired even today, become a backbencher. Would he love to be treated like that? And I want to remind him, I served as a foreign service, as a diplomat for the past 8 years, and then there's a diplomatic passport. He should not come here and educate us. The role of a diplomatic passport, how it is treated. To start with, the diplomatic passport is not given to anyone. Why is he not given to his wife? I'm giving an example, or his mate. If the diplomatic passport is something which is easy, let's respect these things. It comes with the name and dignity. It takes a lot of things to someone to become a member of parliament. We are not saying people should not arrest us. No, you can arrest me. I'm not above the law. But the question, the manner in which you treat a member of parliament, you can't. I'm salutable. Hello, I'm salutable as a member of parliament. Not whereby even a police officer is talking to a member of parliament, his hand is in pocket, he's putting the member of parliament, his trousers up. Who does that? Where are we heading? We can't accept this. And we are not going to allow this. And that's the reason why we are here. The house has been reduced to nothing. And we are not going to accept it to do this. And I'm urging those members of parliament for PF who are not here. Thank you very much, Leader of Opposition.
Thank you, honorable members. I'll now call upon Honorable Christopher Shakafuswa to also add his comment.
Thank you, Leader of Opposition, Chief Whip, and fellow members of Parliament. So you saw today on the floor of the House where we have seen the continued abuse of the police by the Minister of Home Affairs, where on the other hand they are saying that they will respect the rule of law and only go for those that do not have immunity. Allow me to take you back on what happened on the 3rd of May, where we saw overzealous police sent by Honorable Jack Mwimbo and his government to the house of our 60th Republican President, His Excellency Mr. Edgar Chagwalungu, who by the Constitution is dressed by immunity. We saw overzealous officers trying to cut the gates to his house, and some of us who rushed there to say that was wrong. We have seen Jack Mwimbo and the UPND government sending overzealous police officers on us so that they can silence us. I want to say this, that some of us hate injustice and will continue to speak against injustice. What happened today on the floor of the House, where my colleague Honorable Munia Zulu wanted the Speaker to rule that members of Parliament should be respected. At least they must be accorded some dignity when being called to the police station. We saw the minister come and lie on the floor of the House. Some of us will not allow that. We will defend this country. We're going to defend the democracy of our nation. And the continued abuse of the police by the New Dawn government is something we're going to challenge going forward. I was put in cells with 125 criminals at Lusaka Central Prison. Lusaka Central cells. There, we had hardcore criminals. Against the directive of the president that people should be arrested the second day taken to court, we have people who've stayed there over 6 months. Somebody is arrested, very petty charge, and they don't see, the day in court. We have people at Kabwata police station, Leader of Opposition. I'm aware that there are some a wing of police that beat up a suspect, and that suspect died the following day at Chilenje. They brought them at Kabwata, charged the inmates who were in that cell with murder, just to cover up the abuse by the police. And these boys are still incarcerated at Kabwata police station without being taken to court. From now onwards, we are going to take upon the police. We are going to make sure that the police excesses are challenged. We are going to challenge lies that are going to be told on the House, on the floor of the House. That House is a house of laws. It's governed by standing orders. Our standing order 65 does not allow that a minister tells lies. I was abducted on the 25th of May by a plainclothes policeman at Novera Mall. We had a Minister of Home Affairs telling lies that they gave us call-outs and we never obliged to the call-out. I was not given a call-out myself, but instead I was treated like a common criminal. We're not asking for so much. We're elected members of Parliament. All of us seated here are honorable members. The Constitution gives us that status. But to silence us, the UPND government wants to use the police. We will challenge this going forward. We are going to challenge this. Zambia is our country, and we will not allow anyone to abuse the powers that are given to them by our Constitution. The same Constitution recognizes the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. And so, all we are asking is, can we also be respected? I thank you so much.
Yes, just a minute. Over what Honorable Shakafus was said, when I was put in cells at Kabwata, I found those boys.
Yes.
Apparently, they were at Chilenge police station, where the police beat a captain for ZAF, grabbed their phones, his phones. NRC, have you ever seen a criminal goes with a phone in the cells? The answer is no. Every time when you reach by the section, they say, Chosa Sapato, Chosa Belt. They beat this guy, grabbed his money, and now they instructed those boys to say, beat him up. Then the boys refused. The boys told me the story. They refused because the guy went dead. They killed the boys. And those police officers today, they're walking scot-free in the street, drinking even champagne. When that is half man who has a family is a dead person, we are calling upon the police. And one boy has stayed there 100 days. The boy has spent 100 days. The boys have refused to say, even if you take us even for 20 years, one day we are going to leave, because we never killed that captain. A ZAF captain being killed. So we are calling, these are issues which Jackie Mwimbo should investigate. Not these pettiness things he's doing. What is the excitement? Excitement coming from? This is unacceptable.
So thank you, honorable members. Before I call upon Honorable Munia Zulu as our last speaker, I want to say that it's clear, getting the testimonies from our colleagues who are in police cells, that under the UPND government, there's a continued violation of human rights. Suspects are being tortured. This is a constitutional democracy. The rule of law must reign. Suspects have rights. So we are going to raise a number of issues in the interest of suspects. Now that we know that there are a number of brothers and sisters still incarcerated who are being tortured every other day, and some of that torture has resulted in loss of life. It's very, very unfortunate that this is happening under the New Dawn government, a government of angels that promised to govern this country using the rule of law. What we are seeing is the exact opposite. It's not the first report that we are getting of torture. I'm sure you remember there were some teenagers who were tortured by the army not very long ago. We wish to join others in condemning the torture of suspects in police cells, as we also condemn these continued arbitrary arrests. Honorable members, I want to make this appeal. I want to call upon each and every member of parliament to put on their armor and fight for the restoration of the rule of law in this country. Let us all stand up and fight for the rule of law. If we don't, we are the only representatives that the 19 million Zambians are relying upon to restore the rule of law. So members of parliament, this is a call to all of you to stand up courageously and fight for the restoration of the rule of law in this country. May I take this opportunity to invite Honorable Munia Zulu to add a few comments to this.
Thank you very much, Leader of Opposition. My message, first of all, is very simple and basic. I'm one of the victims of the police abductions. What Honorable Jack Mwimbu told the House today was a lie. And in his line, I've come to one confirmation. Just like they detained Chris Zumanizimba at Woodlands Police, speaking on behalf of the people of Eastern Province, I must state that this is nothing to do with our status as members of parliament. What is happening, as a matter of fact, is ethnic cleansing. Yes. This is ethnic cleansing. Let's not be diplomatic about it. His responses there were saying, no, what happened previously, Honorable Nkombo was arrested, they're here to revenge of whatever happened. We were not in parliament then. But what is happening is ethnic cleansing. And we're saying no to it. If we don't speak to these issues and pretend that there is no ethnic cleansing taking place, and we're doing a disservice to the Zambian people. Honorable Jack Mwimbu must be put in order and be told that this is one Zambia, one nation. Yes, they enjoy the temporal authority of having state power because they're from the south, but I think it's not enough reason for them to be sending some officers from the southern region to be abducting members. I think this must come to an end. I needed to put this on record. It's not about our status as members of parliament. How possible is it that the only criminals or only suspects are people that are from the north and the east? Are you telling the Zambian people that there's no criminal in southern province? There is no criminal in western province? There is no suspect in northwestern province? All suspects are Nyanja and Bemba speaking? And I think we cannot pretend that when you speak to these issues, then you are labeled as being tribal. We've got to speak to this matter. We can no longer pretend and say, no, they'll say me, I'm a tribalist. They're so sensitive to this matter because they practice it, they eat it, and they enjoy it. So we are victims of ethnicism that is taking place. I think this matter needs to be put to rest. Even in the house, people are saying, no, we're one people. Which one people? How do you raise a point of order on a point of order? If I raise a point of order on a point of order, the presiding officer will say, no, you can't raise a matter on a point of order. But if people on the left, on the right, raise a point of order on a point of order, a ruling is delivered. Where is the consistency? So the ethnic cleansing taking place is something that we should speak to it. If we pretend, we will have a situation of what happened in other jurisdictions. We must protect this country. And if at all they want to play that game, we will play it better. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, honorable members. I think one other important point that was made was that when you look at all these arrests against MPs and other people, they are being conducted by the same people. It's the same crack squad of police officers. This is the police service. Why is it that it's only those names? Whenever there's been an arrest, it doesn't matter whether it's Ronald Chitotela from Kawambo, it's the same names. So this is the reason why we are not wrong to say they've got specific instructions to harass members of the PF, to harass members of parliament. Because if it was ordinary functions of the police, we would have had other police officers carrying on that particular function. It's the same group of police officers. So we are calling upon the Zambian people to resist this continued harassment. Like I said earlier, put on your armor, stand up and fight for the restoration of the rule of law. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you. Once again, colleagues, Friday, we have this Master 10 caucus, and we must all be there. It's very, very important. What time? Immediately we leave Parliament, we shall have lunch at the same venue.